Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Talk. I hope you're all doing well, keeping well, and being safe in these crazy times that we live in. I would first of all like to say thank you. We've reached 50 subscribers, and I know that's not a lot in the YouTube world, but we here at the Real Talk appreciate that, because the objective or the purpose of this channel is to spread a positive message and to be able to have a positive influence and get people talking about issues that have been ignored for many years or have not been talked about enough. So that's why we really want to thank everyone out there for supporting this. And if you're new to the channel, then please subscribe, watch our videos, and get involved. Send us an email. We'll put the descriptions in the link in the descriptions. I always mess that up, but get in touch and get involved. Come here, talk about anything you feel like and that you want for us to discuss. And moving on from that, we're back. Triv, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back on the Real Talk.
Yeah, and today you said you want to talk about blind loyalty or blind allegiance or something of that sort. And
I think it's a difficult topic to define today. So please bear with us if we don't have a specific name of what it is that we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. But it is a good topic nevertheless. And why did you want to speak about this topic? And how will this impact people, or what is the importance of talking about this particular topic?
Okay. Yeah, so I think let's start by sort of defining the concept that we don't have a name for. Yeah. The thoughts that were going through my mind at the time of taking this video is, we in our lives we find groups, we find sports teams, families, we belong to a family, and we develop these allegiances and these bonds towards these groups. Political parties is another example, and I think that's very good. I think that there are positives that come from that. I think in terms of family, we develop a sense of security. It gives us something to fall back on, something that we know is a safety net for us. In terms of clubs, be it a book club, be it a political party, it's like-minded people who we can have a conversation with and feel like there's other people like me, there's other people who feel the way that I feel. So I think this concept, there's a lot of positives to it. I think it gives us a sense of belonging somewhat, in the sense that we can find people who think like us and talk to them, and develop bonds with these people and put our energy towards these things that we feel strongly about. So yeah, I think that's what it is. I think the aspect of what I wanted to speak about today wasn't about the positives. I think there are positives, and I think it's important to recognize the positives of it. Religion is another branch of this concept where we find solace, we find security, we find faith, we find deeper meaning in religion, whatever your different belief might be. So yeah, I think that's the positive side of it. Are there any things that you feel like that in your life, that you find this sense of bond towards?
No, of course. I mean, us as human beings, we are social creatures. We do want to we always want that sense of belonging. Now you give a very good examples of religion or political groups, or different areas of our lives where we want to be in a group, or in a space where we have like-minded individuals who like talking about the same things. um, Going back to the question, yes, I think it is very important to have a group, and yes, I do belong. I mean, we are very big football fans, so we do support a team, and that creates a group of people who support the same team. So you belong to that community. Um, and if when I was younger, I was quite religious, so I felt part of something bigger than myself. When you us as human beings, we always want to feel that way. I think biologically we want to feel part of something bigger, and of course, if you take anything, it has positives and negatives, and there is a lot of positives to being in a group, or in a society where we all want to do or achieve the same things, or want to talk about the same things. So yes, it is very, very important to be that way, and it helps us grow as individuals as well. I mean, if if we all come together and exchange ideas and information, whether even if it's about one particular thing, we can grow as individuals. We can understand whatever it is, whether it's our religion, whether if it's a political party. We, through exchange of ideas and communication, we get a better understanding of whatever it is. But that's the positives. There are a few negatives to it, and I'll let you start by those, because this is your topic and you did want to discuss that. So what negative aspects can you see from this blind allegiance, or blind loyalty to a particular group?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was important for us to start with the positives because, like we've mentioned, there are a lot, and this is not meant as an attack against your political beliefs, against your religious beliefs, against your footballing beliefs. I mean, I question your footballing beliefs a lot, and you should probably consider changing them for your own mental health. But
Yeah, that's
look,
not
yeah.
gonna
So,
happen.
so I did want to start off by highlighting some of the positives, and you have as well. Something that I do want to talk about is the danger of thinking or becoming sheep, and simply following something because we have made a commitment to it. And I think that that is a very dangerous thing. I think that the consequences of something like that can be very negative towards our development as a society, as a person, and as a group. And I think the easiest way for me to um, try and explain what it is that I'm trying to say is by using examples. So, if you belong to a specific political party and you have made a commitment at a certain point in your life that my allegiance belongs to this political party, um, and you made this choice for whatever reasons. They have done A, B, and C for your community. They have done D, E, and F for your country. Um, and then one day, your political party does something that's not right, that has a negative impact on the people around you, has a negative impact on society in general. I think as human beings, we have developed um, this tendency to
Turn the
defend,
blind eye.
to blind. Yeah, we have developed this tendency, like you said, to turn the blind eye when somebody or a group of people that we belong to do something that isn't right. And I think that that takes us backward. It doesn't move us forward. I think that the ability for you to ask a question, to raise your hand and say, hold on, I'm a member of this political party. I am a member of this religious faith, and I'm not denouncing everything that I believe in, but this particular aspect, this specific thing that you have just said or done or decision that you have made, I don't think that it is the correct decision. I think that it doesn't fit in with our core beliefs. I think that it is something that we need to sit down and think about, and that should be welcomed in society. It shouldn't make your group, your political party, your religion, your football team, it shouldn't make people around you, um, it shouldn't turn them against you. It shouldn't make you the bad person. It should be a healthy thing for us to be able to say, let's rethink this. I am as much a member of this community, this team, this political party as you are, but I don't think that this is right. And I think that that's something that in turn will move us forward as a society instead of either keeping us stagnant or in fact taking us backwards because we refuse to adapt and change, because a lot of the groups, a lot of the things that we follow, that we believe in, they were formed and developed a very long time ago, and things have changed and they might not, those core values might still be valid, but specific points from that were developed in a time that George Lucas reference, in a galaxy far, far away. Why are we still following them?
It's not
Why is it
relevant
not
to
okay?
our times.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
it's not relevant. Why do we follow them? Why can we not put our hands up and say we need to change this? We can still stick to our fundamental core beliefs, but we should be able to.
But you see the issue with that is, right, and I completely agree with you. It's if like what you're leaning towards is questioning things, right? You question
Yeah.
if you're not agreeing with something, or if you think it's against your moral beliefs, even though you're associated with that group. Now, when you start questioning, the what tends to happen is the leaders of that group, um, or the leaders of that organization or whatever you want to call it, then they start questioning your loyalty, to that particular group, or your faith, or whatever you want to call it. But you're not questioning that, are you? You're just questioning aspects of it because they're so outdated and they need to be changed, or they need to be more progressive, because we are changing, evolving as a society. And I think this mainly happens when I would like to call them old school people. When you question them, they don't like being questioned, because for them you either in or out. There's no in between. So you either believe everything they say or do, otherwise you're a non-believer, or you're disloyal. And that's, again, like, I really want to talk this in another show, but about being balanced. It's all about being balanced. So you can question something, you can believe on something, you can follow something, you can have your loyalty and allegiance to something, but it's okay to question when, like you said, when you're not happy with the way things are going. So I completely agree with that point, and questioning things. And a lot of times we are born into a few things, like we're born into a certain religion. For you, unfortunately, you were born into supporting Man United because your dad used to do that. So you see, we and sometimes, because from a young age you're just pushed into that, but when you grow up and you start thinking, you feel like you actually don't belong there, even though you were born into it. And then you start questioning it. A lot of times people blindly, like, that's why we call it blind allegiance, just follow it because that's what your dad did or your grandparents did. But we're all different. We're all different human beings. We all believe in different things. We do might have a few similarities here and there, but you're a different person to your dad or your grandfather just because they followed a certain route or belonged to a certain group. You don't have to follow the same thing. So yeah, um,
I think a part that you raised that's very valid, um, is leaders, and their pushback when somebody says, hold on, I don't quite agree with this. I think what we need to develop as a society is the ability to talk. We don't need to fight about things. We need to be able to open up discourse where we can have a constructive conversation about development and about change. If we're not able to open that constructive discourse, we're never going to be able to improve ourselves. We're going to be in the exact same position, doing the exact same thing. If you look at the car, if we never thought that, or if we refused to move away from internal combustion, we'd never have Tesla. We'd never have Elon Musk doing what it is that he's willing to do. It's somebody that's willing to say, hold on, maybe we can do this a different way. The internal combustion idea, the concept is fantastic. It was revolutionary. It changed the entire world. Maybe we can make it better. We're not saying that we're taking away from Henry Ford, if I'm correct.
yeah,
We're not taking away from what it is that he did with his Mark 1, I think he called it. We're asking, can we make that better? And that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong. We'll use an example, and so I'll use an example to describe constructive discourse. If your cousin is selling drugs and you are aware of what it is that's going down, there's a couple of things that you can do in that situation. You can ignore it because it's my blood and I'm just going to simply pretend that it doesn't happen because I don't want to question my family. The other one is you can be aggressive and you can sit him down or shout at him and say, or her, don't do this, this is wrong, blah, 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 blah. Or, and I think the option that we need to be taking more often is to sit down with the person and ask, why? What's going on? What has led us here? How can I help? And I think by doing that, you drop people's defenses. All of a sudden, they're not there to defend themselves. They're there to have a conversation with you. And I think if we take that approach about bigger issues, we can start to have a conversation about things.
no, definitely. There's one thing you talked about communication, right? I just want to add that the thing with it's so important, communication. I mean, we can talk about that for hours of the importance of communication. Now, again, I see. The problem is, right, if you question or if you try to communicate, let's say, new ideas to change the way we work or the society organization works, what comes into play is ego. A lot of these leaders have massive egos, and they think that by you challenging them, that you're attacking them personally, which is not the case. So I think if we as a society, especially men, if we dropped our egos a little bit and be open-minded. I mean, this is all about being open-minded, and this whole channel is about being. If you're open-minded and you're willing to listen, like you mentioned it, if you communicate, that's how we grow. That's how we learn, and if you are willing to drop those egotistical defenses, then that gives so much room for learning and growing and evolving as a human race. But I think ego is a very, very massive issue here when it comes to questioning things if they're going in a certain way and have been for many, many years. They're like, who are you to question this? That's a very, very common thing I've heard. Who are you? There's like,
Yeah.
who are you to question that? and we're
I
all
think it
human
takes. I
beings.
think it takes. I think it takes. I think I agree with you, and I think it takes a very strong leader to be willing to take on board advice and listen to suggestions. And I think that those leaders are the best leaders. And I think those are the leaders who are able to take their group, their company, their whatever it is further than people who refuse to change.
Of
Uh,
course.
Nokia, Nokia is the standard example in this. Um, Nokia were the world leaders in cell phone technology, and one day they just fell behind. And this think the CEO of Nokia very famously said, "We didn't do anything wrong." And he was right. They did nothing wrong. They just they just weren't aware of change. They weren't aware of the adaptations in technology that were happening in and around them because they were
I don't
stagnant.
know if anyone has
And
said that, but exactly for me, stagnation is regression. Um, because if you don't move forward, you stay the same place. I think that's almost like going backwards because everyone else is moving forward.
this is moving forward. Yep,
So like Android
correct.
came in, Apple came in, and they
Yeah,
just went. So that was a really great example. But yeah, so it's
yeah.
so important. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. But do you have any last points you want to make before we close this chapter?
Yeah, I would love for people down below in the comments on social media. I think our links will be in the description. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did, man. Yeah,
Uh,
I always mess
so
that up.
I would absolutely love to hear um, number one, your thoughts on the topic, and number two, any examples that you know of people, whether it's yourself, whether it's people at work, whether it's people in your religious community that have done this, that have stood up and said, listen guys, we need to have a discussion about this. We can't keep doing what it is that we're doing. I'd love to know of examples where people, because those are the people that we need to promote, those are the type of people that we need to highlight, because they are the ones that are going to move us forward as a society. So yeah, I think just in the last thing is that I would love to hear more. Number one, your stories, and number two, your opinions on this.
Definitely. Thank you, Trev. That was a great discussion. And yeah, leave your comments below. You know, even if you want to talk about something non related or if you have something else you like your experiences. So if you're comfortable not leaving comments, you can just send us an email privately and we can have a discussion there. And if you're brave enough and you want to come on the channel, maybe have a further discussion, then give us a shout. We will put all the information in the description and to how to get in touch with us. I got that right. um,
Correct.
and yeah, and hopefully we can have someone else coming on and having a discussion with us. So thank you everyone for watching. Once again, we've reached 50 subscribers. That's a milestone for me. I know it's a small one, but it just shows you that there are people listening and hopefully talking and passing on this positive message. And so if you're new, subscribe. Let's grow this community. Let's talk about these things and let's make a positive impact, because the only way we can change the society, the world, is to change ourselves. And if we can have some sort of alignment with our core beliefs and the way we perceive things, if we can have different ideas, but if we have kind of aligned core beliefs and the way we perceive and see things, I think that's already a positive step in the right direction. So thank you everyone, take care.